You're watching WTOG Channel 44, your home for the best movies and more.
Tonight, a special gathering in the Bay Area to shine some light on a once hidden crime.
This is WTOG 44 News at 10. With John Summer, Diane Roberts, Bob Alvarez on sports, and Wendy Ross with your weather. And now, your first late news.
Once a private family affair, domestic violence is now a criminal offense. Good evening, I'm John Summer.
And I'm Diane Roberts. Domestic violence used to take place behind closed doors, and victims used to keep their mouths shut, but no more. Many victims of domestic abuse now turn to the police and the courts for help, but more still needs to be done to stop this tragedy. Catherine Birch is in our newsroom now. Catherine?
John and Diane, abuse victims, counselors, and community leaders gathered in Tampa tonight for a special service. They remembered those who died from domestic violence during the past year, and they vowed to help towards prevention. Peace on Earth begins at home. It's a message memorial services like this one in Tampa try to spread. But a peaceful home is something thousands of Bay Area women don't have tonight. Women like Sarah.
Being pushed down, being shoved around, being hit. I've suffered a lot of mental abuse.
Sarah ran to a shelter called The Spring 2 weeks ago. Tonight's service remembers those who couldn't run fast enough. People like Melinda Scantling, who authorities say was gunned down last July by her former boyfriend.
Melinda is a person that I will miss every day. I think about her. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about her.
Those who work with domestic abuse victims say there are many ways to improve the legal system, but their number one concern is counseling for children to break the cycle of family violence.
Children that come from a home where there's been domestic violence, when they grow up, all too frequently, then they become prone to this type of activity.
More beds is not the answer. We need to be doing some educational work in the community, letting kids know that love doesn't have to hurt and that violence doesn't solve conflict.
And just to give you an idea of the scope of this problem, The Spring is a 25-bed shelter. It's filled every night, and during the past year, it had to turn down over 1,000 women and their children. John and Diane.
Catherine, I used to do some volunteer work at an abuse shelter, and I know what you mean about not having enough room. Is there any chance that will be changing soon here at The Spring?
Well, there is some good news this week. The Spring is starting groundbreaking this week for a new expanded shelter that should triple its size, but still counselors expect that to fill up. So the answer to this is that early prevention.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thanks, Catherine. Tonight, a search ends and another begins in Hillsborough County. A 4-day hunt for tiny Lou Connell, abducted from her restaurant early Friday morning, ends with the discovery of her body this evening. As Ken Suarez reports, now the attention turns to her killer.
A train conductor found the body along the tracks that run parallel to Route 39 in northern Hillsborough County, just down the road from Lou's place. Minerva Lou Connell was sleeping at a restaurant when an intruder broke in last Friday morning, apparently abducting and killing her. Since then, family and friends searched and searched for her, hoping she was still alive.
Horses, four-wheel drives, motorcycles.
Out there on 54, Wesley Chapel.
Four-wheelers, foot, pickup trucks.
Tonight, loved ones gathered holding on to the hope this body would not end their search. However, it did.
I knew when I got here, I knew when I seen it. The police cars is just too close. I knew.
The news brought tears. The victim's granddaughter collapsed. Police refused to divulge leads, other than saying they're still looking for a 175-pound man with a medium build, driving a '72 Ford pickup with big back wheels. Hillsborough County Sheriff's spokesman Jack Espinosa.
We need all the help we can get.
As grieving family members left tonight, they vowed police will get all the help they need. In Hillsborough County, Ken Suarez, 44 News at 10.
An autopsy is set for tomorrow. Police will hope the results will determine the cause of Lou Connell's death.
The Plant City man accused of killing a Tampa family loses a round in court. Lawyers for Newton Slauson failed to get the judge to throw out evidence they claim police obtained illegally. Slauson is charged with killing Jerry and Peggy Wood. They are 2 young children. and an unborn child in their Tampa home last April. Slauson's lawyers did win one battle. The judge agreed to delay the trial until next March.
One of the HRS caseworkers charged in connection with the death of 2-year-old Bradley McGee maintains she's innocent tonight. Appearing at a pretrial hearing in Bartow, caseworker Shirley Dubois says she's not guilty of charges she failed to report child abuse. Bradley died in July, not long after HRS took him out of foster care and returned him to his parents, Thomas and Cheryl Coe. They both face first-degree murder charges in the case.
Both in court and at the gate, organizers of the St. Petersburg Grand Prix are losers tonight. A circuit court judge rules the Grand Prix must turn over financial records to the Tampa Tribune or within 20 days show cause why they shouldn't be forced to produce the documents. The news from the track is also bad.
Our attendance was down about 25,000 from last year, and when you're talking about that many people, I don't think there's any way to give one reason why they weren't here.
Tonight, race officials tell 44 News they'll announce whether they'll open their books at a news conference tomorrow. Now, I know you've just been waiting to hear what our current conditions are, so let's turn things over to Wendy Ross for a look at our first forecast.
Well, we're starting to see some ghoulish kind of weather taking place. Even though it isn't Halloween, it's already starting to look an awful lot like it. We are looking at clear skies at this hour, but in another couple of hours, we're already going to start to see the fog roll in. And right now, the temperatures are up in the upper 60s. We also have a 90% humidity, so it's quite muggy out there. And winds are out of the north right now at 7 miles per hour. We do have a rising barometer, and tomorrow morning at sunrise, that fog will still be lingering. A temperature reading of about 63 degrees is forecast at sunrise. And I'll let you know whether or not you're going to have to take an umbrella along with you for trick-or-treating tomorrow night. That forecast in just a few minutes. John and Diane.
Thank you, Wendy. Times have changed. Remember the Beatles' former guru, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi? He's in real estate now. His company, called What Else? Heaven on Earth, is reportedly talking with 2 Bay Area developers about bringing a little nirvana to our own backyards. The Yogi wants to build an idyllic subdivision with 200 homes made from non-toxic materials. All this for just a little more than other houses cost.
For $100,000, you get this house. For $105,000, you get this house. This house is deadly poisonous. This house is free of poisonous substances. Which one do you want?
The community would also offer a holistic health center and a school with twice daily meditation. Similar subdivisions are planned for 50 other cities.
There's more coming your way. Straight ahead on your first late news. The Navy explains what caused a crash which killed 5 sailors on board the USS Lexington.
Also next on Made in Florida, an advertiser's dream come true, a print ad that literally talks or sings to the reader.
This is a briefcase, a place to shelter valuable ideas, a guardian for work in progress. But now it's something more. Now it's a lunch bag. Because now there's Top Shelf from Hormel. Top Shelf microwaves in 2 minutes, but tastes like you might have made it from scratch. And since it requires no refrigeration, you can pack it in a briefcase and lunch, as they say, is in the bag. Top Shelf from Hormel.
Lechmere stores are going out of business with a fantastic $65 million sale. Hurry in today. Save more. 20% off Lechmere's already low prices. Every item is on sale. Nothing is held back. Save now on major appliances, TVs, VCRs, camcorders, audio, sporting goods, and more. Save 20% off every item. That includes all of our top quality name brands. Hurry in to Lechmere's going out of business sale now and save even more.
We've sailed the seas around the world and traveled to distant shores. And now we're proud to serve you here, right at home on the Gulf Coast. So many things for you to do, dining and dancing, excitement too. It's the chance of a lifetime. We're waiting for you. Come on aboard, come take a chance. Come on aboard the Southern Elegance.
How long does it take to process a photo right? Just 1 hour with Eckerd Express Photo. Now you can get the same great Eckerd processing in only 1 hour. And your photos will still be processed by Eckerd's own trained lab technicians wonderful people right in select Eckerd stores. So you can drop off your film, shop around, do some stuff, and before you know it, time's up.
Eckerd Express Photo 1 hour processing. Nothing looks better.
Somebody want to help me with this? Thank you.
Tonight, the Navy says the plane crash on the carrier USS Lexington is likely pilot error. That tops news around your world tonight. In fact, it was the first attempt at a landing on the carrier for pilot in training Stephen Pontel of Maryland. The 23-year-old died in the crash, along with 4 on board, no one from Florida. The accident occurred as the Lexington sailed about 30 miles south of Pensacola. Also tonight, in the Indian Ocean, the Navy says 5 sailors are slightly injured after a U.S. warplane accidentally dropped a bomb on the cruiser USS Reeves during maneuvers. For the second time in a week, a freighter runs aground off Key West. At this point, it does not appear that the Yugoslavian vessel leaked any of its fuel into the water or its cargo of phosphate, but the reef may suffer damage. 5 days ago, another freighter ran aground near Key Largo, damaging the reef. Protesters chose a symbolic location to challenge a new law banning the burning of the American flag and pay the price for it tonight. 4 people are under arrest for burning several flags on the steps of the U.S. Capitol building. The demonstration is intended to test the constitutionality of the law.
Tonight, former Chief of Staff Howard Baker talked to Eckerd College students about his political career and his impressions of former boss Ronald Reagan. The 63-year-old talked to reporters earlier in the day. He said now that he's out of the political arena, he has time to spend with his grandchildren and his hobbies. Baker says Republicans need to realize their success won't continue forever.
There are unaddressed needs and problems in the country, and the great danger is that Republicans will be beguiled by their own success and not focus on these new issues and devise worthwhile programs for them.
One of those issues is the homeless. Baker says a country with this much wealth shouldn't have so many homeless people and so many people needing medical care.
As you watch this station, you're watching commercial television. The programming doesn't cost you anything to watch, but you will hear from the sponsors every so often who do pay for it for the privilege of trying to sell you a product. It's one of any number of ways of letting a large number of people know about something you've got. Well, in tonight's edition of Made in Florida, I'll show you a more unusual method of promoting and the local company that specializes in it. How many ways can an advertiser talk directly to its audience? Certainly through the television or radio or newspaper. Flip through any magazine and you'll find pages and pages of printed ads. But here's one that speaks louder than the printed word. It's called a flexible vinyl sound sheet, and it's made right here in Florida.
I will parachute you into the absolute.
Sound sheets like this ad for a vodka company literally roll off the presses at the Clearwater-based Evertone company, up to $1 million a day.
It's a tried, proven, and yet unique medium. Penetration of phonographs in this country is at such a high level that they know by using it that they can definitely get heard.
Evertone is the largest manufacturer of flexible recordings in the country. And although companies like McDonald's and Ralston make audio impressions with a recorded advertisement, the flexible recordings offer flexible uses. The disc you see here will provide the master for inexpensive educational recordings, mass-produced for the U.S. government. Creating this audio product is visually appealing. A layer of silver is sprayed on the master. Then after it cures, it's used as a dye to make the stamping plate. One by one, every second, an identical high-quality recording drops off the line. Thin, light, ready for a low-cost mailing. Evertone plans to keep punching out spindle holes for some time. Evertone has an order right now that's keeping it busy. 10 million pieces for a deodorant company. Now, that order is a record, you might say, for Evertone.
Well, John, how long do company officials think that this will last? How long will this fad last?
Well, Norman Welch, the gentleman that I spoke with in that story, says that he thinks that it's going to be popular at least for another 10 years, and then he says beyond that, it's hard for any company to tell selling any kind of a product.
10 years.
Yep.
We'll see. Thanks, John. Making health and fitness fun is the idea behind the newest attraction at Disney's Epcot Center. The Wonders of Life Pavilion was officially dedicated today. Disney officials say the exhibit celebrates life and health. Within this 100,000 square foot dome, you can find plenty of hands-on activities, but you won't miss the thrill of a good ride with Body Wars, a film that shoots you through the human bloodstream. Disney officials say computer graphics and special effects film techniques made the feature a reality. Nowhere else but in the future can you learn the workings of the human body from the inside. Nowhere else except there, I suppose.
Disney World, right?
You know, all this talk about the future is very appropriate. It may be hard for you to believe, but the 90s are only 2 months away.
So beginning tomorrow, and then for the entire month of November, 44 News launches an ambitious month-long series of special reports we call Tuning Into the 90s. You'll find out about staggering growth and changes in crime and punishment, and how all this will affect your family and your lifestyle. It's an exciting decade ahead, and we're excited about sharing it with you. That's Tuning Into the 90s, starting tomorrow on your First Slate News. And of course, tomorrow night, the ghosts and goblins and witches take over Bay Area streets.
Next, Wendy Ross lets you know if tomorrow's weather will be a trick or a treat.
I'm Bob Alvarez. The Bucks got spanked in Cincinnati. Coming up in sports, we'll tell you why.
The next time your house needs repainting, the choice is yours. You can try and save money by doing it yourself, scraping and painting away all your free time. You can hire a professional to do it and then have him keep coming back every few years. Or you can make the exterior of your home virtually maintenance-free by calling Sears now at this toll-free number. You see, siding from Sears stands up to summer's heat and winter's damp and chill to keep your house looking great year after year without the bother and expense of frequent repainting.
And here's great news. Right now, siding from Sears can be yours with no interest and no payment until January 1990.
Most wood-sided or trimmed houses require painting every 3 to 4 years at increasing costs. But solid vinyl siding from Sears is tested to assure long-lasting performance. Look, you can pound on it with a hammer. It won't dent. You can grind on it with sandpaper. It won't scratch and the color won't rub off. Through blistering summers and brutal winters, year after year, siding from Sears is the logical choice for your home. Best of all, because your siding is from Sears, you can be sure that Sears will continue to stand behind the quality and workmanship of every job. You can trust your home to Sears. Just call this number now for a free in-home estimate, and Sears will take care of the rest. We'll help you select siding that's just right for your home, provide quality, professional installation, and even show you convenient credit plans sure to fit almost any budget. So the choice is yours, to face the bother and expense of repainting every few years, or have the convenience, beauty, and satisfaction of siding from Sears.
Call 1-800-942-4500 now to arrange for your free in-home estimate. And remember, right now, siding from Sears can be yours with no interest and no payment until January 1990, low 9.5% financing, or $500 off. So act now. Your home will look great for years to come. And you won't have to worry about the hassle and expense of frequent repainting. Call Sears for siding now at 1-800-942-4500 and take advantage of this special limited-time offer. Don't delay. That's 1-800-942-4500.
The weather was cloudy today, just ripe for ghouls and goblins, but it kind of cleared up.
It changed around an awful lot, I guess, for the Tinkerbells and the fairy princesses and all the rest of it out there. But, of course, tomorrow night is the big night that everybody is wondering about. Tonight, we have clear skies after a full day of cloudiness. And those cloudy skies were responsible for much cooler temperatures, cooler than we saw all weekend long. Daytime highs today were mostly in the upper 70s, but there were a couple of exceptions, as always. In St. Petersburg, my weather watcher Diddy Buzza had a high of 80 degrees, and Pearl Fisher in St. Petersburg Beach had a high of 82 degrees. Overnight lows tonight will drop down into the 60s, and we're pretty much right where we're going to be for the rest of the night right now. With temperatures mostly in the upper 60s, this is probably where we're going to stay the rest of the evening, but in Lakeland, they'll cool down to about a 66-degree reading, and already we're starting to see clearing skies across the Bay Area. And the reason for this is the low-pressure area and trough that was responsible for the cloudy skies all day. Most of the cloudiness was located just off the East Coast, and it is now moved up into the Carolinas. And so this is where this low-pressure trough was going. It was continuing to drift in this direction for the past 24 hours, and it finally has moved itself well away from the Bay Area, and that is the reason we are seeing clear skies at this hour. And of course, the showers are taking place where that low pressure trough is right now, just off the coastline of the Carolinas. And we also have another band of rain showers, and this is taking place from the southern sections of Texas, clear up through the, just west of the Tennessee Valley, and then all the way up into the Great Lakes area. And you can see right here on our satellite picture where this cold front is stretching as it moves all the way across the nation's midsection. We have another cold front that is bringing some more rain and snow to the higher elevations across the northwest, and tomorrow we are expecting to see these cold fronts making an impact across the nation's weather with spotty snow across the northern plains and most of the northern Rockies, and rain showers along the frontal system as it slowly starts to make its way towards Florida. But we won't have to worry about rain for tomorrow night. I'll tell you why in just a few minutes after we see what's happening back home.
The Furniture Store Factory Outlet Anniversary Sale. 6 years old and never undersold. 5-piece Bury and rattan dinettes from only $179. 6-piece Formica bedrooms complete. Ball-bearing drawer construction and choice of color from $488. Save 40 to 70% on everything now during the Furniture Store Factory Outlet Anniversary Sale. 11641 US 19 Clearwater. 1 mile south of Almerton Road on Highway 19.
Race fans, it's the event you've been waiting for. WTOG Channel 44 welcomes the Performance Ford U.S. Hot Rod Triple Crown of Motorsports, blasting into the Florida State Fairgrounds Friday and Saturday, November 3rd and 4th. First, it's high-flying handlebar motocross action. Then 8, count them, 8 monster trucks will go to war, including Bigfoot, plus Daredevil Todd Wildman Blazer. Get your tickets now. Fairgrounds box office and all Ticketmaster outlets. Join your friends on Channel 44 at the Performance Ford Triple Crown of Motorsports.
Hey, Wendy!
Hey, Wendy, how's the weather going to be for Halloween tomorrow?
Oh, of course, that is the question on everybody's mind. And what we're expecting to see, I'll tell you in just a second. Right now, we do have clear skies across the Bay Area, and tomorrow morning, we're likely to see some fog, so that will probably dissipate sometime during the early morning hours, leaving us with partly cloudy skies for the rest of the day. A high of 82 and an overnight low of 63 degrees. Now, on Wednesday or Tuesday night, which is the night of Halloween, we are also expecting to see partly cloudy skies. The chance of rain doesn't come in until Wednesday. A high of 82 and an overnight low of 63 degrees is forecast. Out in the Gulf, the temperature is 70 degrees. Winds tomorrow will be variable at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will range 1 to 2 feet. So you do not need to bring along an umbrella for tomorrow night, just your trick-or-treat bag. And I know everybody in my family is real excited about this. Everybody's just so, it's a fun holiday.
No soggy goblins.
No soggy goblins.
There's nothing more important, rather more uncomfortable than a soggy goblin,
True
I
enough.
think, don't you?
Yes.
That was my thought exactly. Tonight, public officials and parents of missing children want you to know about a new campaign designed to find Florida's missing kids. Congressman Bill McCollum announced the statewide effort at a press conference today. The idea is to saturate the entire state with pictures of missing boys and girls on billboards. This is an example of what the billboards will look like as they go up over the next 3 weeks. More than 4,000 Florida kids like Kathleen Ingalls are missing. Officials say this new campaign should help find Florida's missing children and should raise public awareness of the problem.
Bob Alvarez joins us now, and let's get back on the theme of Halloween for a second, because we had a scary game yesterday.
Let me tell you, it was a tough one to watch, and I'm sure a rough one to play in. A lot of people talking about the penalties. That didn't lose the game. It was Boomer Esiason's left arm and the running of James Brooks. The defense has bailed the offense out a lot this year and couldn't get it done yesterday. You know, I realized that Cincinnati was in the Super Bowl last year, but 56-23... a bit too much, methinks. The way the Bucs gave this one away, it should have been Christmas weekend instead of Halloween. Following 2 weeks of famine, the Bengals were ready to feast. The jungle once again afforded no escape for a weary visitor, and the battle was as lopsided as a matchup between Tarzan and Jane.
I said they just kicked the out of us.
A Bengals offense that had not scored a touchdown through 7 quarters exploded. The king of the jungle, Boomer Esiason, made it look so easy.
Play professional football, you're supposed to be ready for everything, you're supposed to be prepared for everything. We weren't.
In football, they often say a running game will set up the passing game, and today the Bucs had all they could handle in James Brooks. Brooks gained nearly 8 yards each time he touched the ball. He finished with 131 and became the first running back in 20 games to rush for over 100 yards against a Tampa Bay defense.
He had a great game, and I think when he does good, because he can hurt you so many ways and put you in so many different sets, that they have a good offense.
One which humiliated the Bucs into one of the worst defeats in franchise history.
Gets me extremely frustrated, but yet and still it kind of off a little bit.
Ooh, a lot of no comments in the locker room yesterday, too. Bucs now 3-5, and in the next 3 weeks, they will face Cleveland and Minnesota here and then take a trip up to Chicago. So could get worse before it gets better. Associated Press College poll, 1, 2, 3, Notre Dame, Colorado, and Nebraska. The Seminoles with the win over Miami jump ahead of the Canes, and the Gators remain at the 19th spot. Well, tonight we close with another edition of yet another 44 Sports exclusive. It is the Fan Network, and yes, your chance to be the voice of the Tampa Bay Bucs. We do it at all the home games. So let's go back to the Bucs and the Lions.
Hi, I'm James Becknell for the 44 Sports Fan Network. I'm here at the Tampa Bay Bucs game against the Lions, and we're leading right now 7-3. Waiting for Ferguson to take the snap. Hill is in motion. Ferguson drops back, passes, is incomplete. It's 4th down and 6 to go. Iggy is in the ball, in the field, attempting to kick a field goal. It's an automatic field goal with Iggy. Up! 3 points is good. Bucs lead 10-3. This is James Becknell for the 44 Sports Fan Network, and we'll see you next week or whenever at the next Bucs game at home.
That'll be this Saturday against the Cleveland Browns. I'll have my Halloween mask tomorrow, so we'll see you then.
Thanks, Robert. Always get some joy out of the game anyway.
For most of us, Halloween is just around the corner.
Next on the news, some trick-or-treaters unable to get out have Halloween brought to them.
The year was 1938. The night was Halloween when something very strange happened on the scene. The land of the free was worried. The home of the brave was scared, as America truly believed that aliens were in the air. The Martians are coming! The Martians are coming! They cried across the land as a terror-stricken country awaited the invasion at hand. But the menace wasn't real. Orson Welles was behind it all. It was a radio show, a shocking one, broadcast that fall. Halloween night at 8 on WTOG. Watch the night that panicked America. You'll be scared. We guarantee.
UFOs land in Montana.
Like $200.
I just can't keep my hands out of this box. He cooks with the one hand and eats Chex Mix with the other.
And you thought Chex Snack Mix was just for parties. Chex Snack Mix. What are you saving it for?
You know, nowadays, you buy a television set, they try to sell you some kind of expensive service plan. Buy a Curtis Mathis, and you get a 6-year customer protection plan absolutely free. If something goes wrong, we fix it. Parts, labor, free for 6 years. Now, if the other guys have to charge for their plan, maybe it's because you may have to use it someday. Now, think about that. Curtis Mathis, the most expensive television set in America, and darn well worth it.
Some Tampa Bay area kids get a jump on Halloween tonight.
They are patients at the Shriners Hospital Tampa unit who might not get a chance to go trick-or-treating. So the hospital brought the annual frightful holiday to them. This is the first Monster Mash Bash, sponsored by the hospital and students from Armwood High School. A ghost walk highlighted the night's activities. Along the way, patients stopped and heard scary stories. To ensure a scare, the group enlisted the help of some live and some not-so-live props. The hospital hopes this is an annual event. Here's Wendy with a look at our final weather word.
Well, it's good to know, too, that the ghosts and goblins will not need their galoshes tomorrow. We're expecting partly cloudy weather.
But no rain. That's our report for tonight. Please join us tomorrow as we begin our month-long series of reports on tuning into the 90s. I'm Diane Roberts.
I'm John Summer. Take care. Have a good evening. We'll see you again tomorrow night for your first Slate News 44 News at 10. Good night.